What's up, everybody? You seem to really enjoy the coverage that we did on the Peru release trailer, so I figured we would do this video in the same format. Because today they revealed every single species that is going to be on the new map, and it's a banger list. Now, I want to give a big thanks to Expansive Worlds for allowing myself and other creators to get a couple of days of preparation in advance to record this right here. They gave us the trailer a little bit early so that we could make the best content possible for you guys. And that way you guys can know exactly what to expect and we can get a full breakdown going without having to rush the content. But before we break everything down, let's just take a look at the trailer right here for the animal reveal, because there is some really awesome stuff here.
With the morning sun, the valley awakens. These lands breathe. The mountains stretch into the sky. And the river flows into dusk. But at night, the forest doesn't sleep. And silence never lasts. And each step is felt before it's seen. Here, the rivers hide more than they reveal. The mountains stand in watch. And the jungle decides who lives. This is Peru. This is Inti Suyu.
So now that you guys have seen the trailer, let's break it down and talk a little bit about the different animals that are coming with this map. Now, we start this awesome trailer off with some overhead looks. We see the cinnamon teal right here, and then we see a little bit of a capybara swimming through the water before it switches to show off the reserve logo. And then it gets into the trophy list. And there is some insane trophy animals here, like this, the South American tapir. I mean, this is a creature that a lot of you were hoping would get added to the game. When we were talking about it during the live stream a few days ago, this was a species that got brought up a lot as something people wanted to see added with this map. And here it is. I mean, look at this freak. This is like one of the most weird looking animals Call of the Wild has ever had, and I absolutely love it. I cannot wait to hunt these guys. But the tapir is not the only animal that was added. We also have the Western Mountain Coyote, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know if that's the proper way to pronounce it. I've never even heard of this creature, but it looks really interesting. And I mean, this is going to be our new Class 1 animal coming with this reserve. Honestly, the fact that we are getting 10 new species with this reserve is pretty incredible. I'm super happy about that. It's always nice when we can get a massive amount of new species instead of, a bunch of reused species. Which, by the way, that does remind me that they did confirm that there is no reworks to any of the animals that are coming with this reserve that are reused. So, for example, whitetail isn't getting a rework. The teal aren't getting a rework, etc. The only thing that is getting a rework is going to be the mountain goat horns. Their true racks are getting completely redone, but obviously they're not on this map, which I do think is a bit of an interesting choice. But to be honest, I'm just glad that we are getting a rework, even if it's not one that's coming with this map. Because the mountain goat, they definitely needed a bit of a rework to their horns. I mean, their horns weren't bad, but they definitely could have been improved. And while I'm thinking about it, I was also getting asked a ton if we've got early access yet. And no, we don't have early access yet. Typically, we get it a week before the release of the map. Whenever we get it, I'll be able to tell you guys. That's how it's always worked. So the second I get early access, I'll make a post on YouTube and tell you guys that I've got early access. But typically, it's like a week before release. Now, continuing on, let's see what we've got next. They show off the Vicuna, however you pronounce it. It's a pretty cool looking animal. And as far as I've been able to learn from you guys in the comments and just research, it seems like these guys are related to camels, like they're part of the camel family. So that's pretty cool. And I also just noticed it says they're a class 3. That's interesting. I would have expected them to be a class 4, but I mean, maybe the trailers are just deceiving in what their size is. I guess until we actually see what their weight range is, it isn't really going to make too much sense. But once we get a chance to actually see the animals in game, I'm sure class 3 will make sense, but only time will tell. Let's continue on the trailer and see what they show off next. This is the Taruka. Now, this right here is one of the species I'm most excited for, even though I feel like a lot of people don't really care too much about a lot of these smaller deer. But me personally, being someone who absolutely loves deer of all kind, this is really cool. Like, Rusa deer is one of my favorite deer in the entire game, and this is basically the same type of antler configuration almost to like a Rusa, except looks like a little bit less tines. But then again, these could be small ones, who knows? I'm really curious how giant these guys can get. Gonna be very interesting, but either way, I'm just happy there's a new deer species coming with this map, and it's also a class 3, which is very, very interesting. I guess similar to like the hog deer in size, probably. We continue on and get an even better look at him. Gosh, that's such a pretty model. Like, just look at the face on this guy. That's beautiful, man. This dude looks awesome. Like, between the horns, like between the antlers and just like the different colors throughout the body, this is a really beautiful model. Now let's talk about the capybara. This is a fan favorite. You guys have been absolutely freaking out over how awesome the capybaras look. They are a class 4 animal, so we'll be able to blast these guys with the 7mm if we wanted to, which is interesting. I kind of thought these guys would be a class 3, but they're a class 4. Very interesting. I'm really curious just how quick they're going to die, because like the Sika deer, for example, it's a class 4, even though it probably should be labeled a class 3, and those things die instantly to like anything that covers class 4 practically. So with the capybara probably being like a similar size, maybe a little bit smaller or larger, I'm not 100% sure. It's going to be very interesting to see how these guys react to us using stuff like a 308 or a 30-06 on them. Next up, we continue along and see the cinnamon teal, but we're going to not really stick around on these guys as they are a reused species. And they're not exactly the most interesting because they didn't get reworked. But this is interesting. The ocelot. Oh my gosh, I'm so freaking happy we have the ocelot. This is probably, I would say, outside of the jaguars, this is what I'm most excited about. There's so many species that I'm talking about how excited I am for them because there is a lot of really good species on this reserve. A lot of things that we've just never seen in the game, which is really cool. The ocelot is freaking adorable, and I think these guys are going to be a ton of fun to hunt. I'm definitely going to try and get every rare ocelot. I mean, if I possibly can. I don't know how tough these guys are going to be to hunt, but man, I want some rares because that would just be so cool to have a bunch of rare ocelot around your lodge. Now let's continue on and we see the spectacled bear. This is going to be a really cool addition as well. A lot of you were really excited for this too. I saw a lot of comments talking about the spectacled bear and a lot of you hoping that it's going to be the next great one. Personally, I still think that jaguar they showed in the trailer is probably a great one, or if it's not, then maybe a mission animal. But I feel like jaguar's got to be the great one. But only time will tell. I hope they reveal the great one soon so that we can stop speculating and just know what it is. But let's move on and see what else we've got right here. There's the jaguar, the fan favorite, the most hyped animal of this update. Let's go back to it because that actually looked like it was a rare variation. Yeah, that looks like a melanistic jaguar right there. That's pretty cool looking, man. That's pretty cool looking. Look at that Black Panther stalking through the jungle. That is going to be so cool. That is going to be a crazy encounter. And what a lot of people really don't understand is that panthers aren't a real thing. Panthers are the melanistic variations of cats like the jaguar. It's so interesting because like when I was a kid, I thought Black Panthers were a real thing. But in reality, they're not. They're just the darker variations of stuff like jaguar, leopard, etc. I mean, either way, they look really cool though. Now let's move on to the next species, which is the black caiman. See, this was something where I wasn't 100% sure what type of caiman it was when we were looking at the trailer because they hadn't revealed the species list as of then. So I was really curious if it was going to be the spectacled caiman, the black caiman, or if it would be one of the other ones, because I believe there's 3 different kinds of caiman that can be found in Peru. So I was really curious which one it was going to be, and it is the black caiman, which is quite cool. Class 7 animal as well, so going to be able to use your 300 on that. We got the collared peccary. Obviously not going to stick around on them too long. Same with puma. Neither of them are getting reworks. Neither is the white-tailed deer, so we'll just let it go past these guys and get to this little guy. The greater Grison? I have no idea how to pronounce this guy. Let me know in the comments. Once again, you guys know the drill. Let me know how this name is pronounced. The Grison, the Grison, the Grison, however you want to say it. Then we get a nice look at the I almost said panther. Once again, a real nice up-close shot of it when it's like getting aggressive. We see a bunch of... Was those capybaras? Were those capybaras? It is. It's cappies. Oh my gosh. There's the cappies running along. And we got some collared peccary. We got some, looks like whitetail. Got the taruka and a black caiman and a spectacled bear and a beautiful overhead look of the map. My gosh, this map is gorgeous. The scenery is insane on this. Like, that is crazy. And then right at the end, we see right here, it talks about 10 new species, 14 in total. Exclusive weapon, which is the reverse draw crossbow. But I'll be honest, I thought it was a pistol crossbow when they first revealed it. But hey, this is why I'm not a bow hunter. I've never used a bow in my life, only rifles. So I'm not really too aware of the different kinds of bows, crossbows that there is. In fact, here in Oregon, it's illegal to use a crossbow to hunt, so I'm not too versed on crossbows. You ask me about guns, I can tell you pretty much anything about them, but when it comes to bows, that's a little bit out of my realm. And I rarely use them in Call of the Wild either. I'm pretty much a rifle person all the way through. But yeah, figured I'd correct myself. It is not a like one-handed crossbow pistol. It is the reverse draw crossbow, which is going to be cool for sure. It also mentions a thrilling new campaign, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think they talked about that a little bit more on their website, so I'm going to check that out real quick. Yeah, so they did talk about it a little bit on their website. They talked about it a few days ago, actually. I just didn't cover it because I had already released my video. But it says, explore Peru through 60 news story missions. The notice board will allow you to choose how you want to spend your time in Intasuyu, whether it's by hunting, exploration, or volunteering at the animal sanctuary. So that's kind of cool. They give you options. They also show off a nice screenshot of the reverse draw crossbow taking down a mountain lion. As well as, this is where it talks about new mountain goat true Rex, improvements to game feeders, mission bug fixes, and more. And then we also have, let's go up here real quick. It shows a picture of the vacuna, and we also get another look at the leopard right here. So definitely a lot of info been revealed so far, and I'm very excited for it. It also shows the price is $11.99. So if you were curious of the price, that's what it is. Definitely going to be fun to be able to take on these incredible animals, man. I'm excited for this. I hope you guys are excited too. If you are, leave a comment down below, as well as hitting that like button before you go. Hype up the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!